first review of the year, guys. Let's get right to it. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan680.
Amanda, that's Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk. Movie Talk for movie fans, guys, who bring the movie world right into your ears, devices. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe to us for our Movie Talk channel. In this case, review. This is our first review of the year, 2023, guys. Happy New Year to everybody. We made it. We made it. Now, to start off the year right, in a weird way, right? January for horror. We just got done doing the Evil Dead teaser, which I know you guys already saw. Now, M3GAN review. Story by James Wan, produced by James Wan, but not directed by. This definitely was a movie heavily marketed. Yes. This is, we talk about films to where this movie was heavily marketed. I saw TikToks of it. I saw YouTube ads of this. It was everywhere.
We saw the trailer several times before we actually saw the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. It was everywhere.
You saw it again before Avatar? Went to go see Avatar again?
It showed before Avatar recently. Yeah. So this was a heavily put out there movie. Up and coming M3GAN, yes. Right?
Yeah.
So I gotta say, I had high expectations because I
really?
love the whole because for one, James Wan's part of it.
Yeah.
But for two, I love the whole sci-fi futuristic downfall of technology themes.
Mm-hmm.
I really love that. So I really had high expectations for this. It looked really good from the trailer.
Yeah.
And I will say this, we won't spoil it, but I will say the biggest problem that I have with this film, and it wasn't necessarily with the film.
Yeah.
It was that, and I say time and time again, the trailer showed a lot of good parts of it. Mm-hmm. And I could expect, and when it was playing, I knew what to expect from certain scenes.
Yeah.
And that I think for me took away from this film.
Yeah.
It really did, because I knew what was coming beforehand because I saw it in the trailer. Mm. And that's the biggest problem I have with a lot of these new, especially horror films, especially horror thriller films.
Yeah. That's
the biggest problem, whereas the trailer gives away too much. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was the biggest downfall of this film.
Yeah,
it was. I don't want to say marketed too much because I saw the same trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same scenes pretty much.
Yeah. So that was my biggest downfall. Now, do I think it was a good movie? I do. Mm-hmm. Biggest one that I compare it to as far as terms of same feeling was The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss. Loved the movie.
I thought
I saw the trailer so many times.
Yeah.
That I knew.
And that was by Universal as well. I thought that movie was better than this film. That's just my take on here. I thought that movie was way better than this movie. But to each his own and everything. Talking about this whole the concept of the trailers being the best part of the movies. That's another concern we talked about doing our Evil Dead Rise trailer reaction. Was that is the best parts all we got already in the trailer, and it's it kind of takes you away from the movie. It does.
It does, because when you're watching these films, you know what to expect. You can predict what's going to happen. You know how it's going to unfold because you saw it already. Exactly.
Moviegoers, put a comments down below. For the most part, though, one of the major concerns I will always say when it comes down to situations just like this one is that the Zack Snyder BVS Batman, which is the greatest movie on earth, believe it or not, greatest movie on earth. Even though you suckers out there, you know what I'm talking about. Greatest movie on earth. I still disagree the way that Zack Snyder freaking did that. How he really changed and how he really just revealed the whole Doomsday. I was just like, we knew it was coming. Why did you show it? It took me so far away when I already knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But going back to this movie and everything, we go back to where this movie was heavily marketed on so many different occasions, heavily marketed on so many different, everywhere. It was marketed everywhere. And, M3GAN was a movie, it's a film, of course, a robotics engineer at a toy company builds a lifelike doll that begins to take on a life of its own.
Right. So it deals with the whole concept of AI.
And everyone talks about this, all the stuff. We're on the brink of it. Google's developing, we heard recently that Google's developing this AI.
The sentient being.
Yeah, sentient being.
So
yeah, so it's coming.
I think what makes this movie scary, because let's be honest, it's not a scary film. It's thriller, sure, it has its moments of suspense, but it's not a scary film. For me, what I take away is the scariest part of this film is that we're headed to that
era. Yeah.
We're headed
just
to
like Terminator, Skynet,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like technology. Yeah. At what point is it enough? You know what I mean? Like that's a very scary thing to think about. And this film really capitalizes on it because, this toy that's supposed to bring joy and help a child like ends up being a murderous psychopath. And so it's really a scary concept. Now I will say also, there were a couple problems for me.
Yeah. This movie. This is obviously the story by James Wan, so I knew I went in with no. I went
high
in
hopes.
with.
I had high.
See, and I was the complete opposite. I went in like, okay, just please don't be that as bad as I think it's gonna be, because, again, when it comes to so much marketing, when a horror movie, particularly when a horror movie is heavily marketed, I mean, for myself, just me. Again, I could be crazy. My take on horror films. When movies are heavily marketed, just like this movie, 8 out of 10, it's terrible. I'm just like, oh god, but with this movie, it surprised me. I was very surprised. I'm not saying it's a great film. I'm saying it's good. It's good. I feel like it knows where it's at, but at the same time, though, I kind of felt like with James Wan's name on it and everything, they kind of put Blumhouse, of course. The Blumhouse, the one of the best analytics business side of films is that they make films very cheap and they make a lot of money.
But a lot of their films are pretty good.
Yeah, no, yeah, but they're strict on a budget though. That's the good thing. They're always strict on a budget. With this M3GAN movie, it was James Wan's name tag all over it. Being an hour and 42 minutes, I think that runtime is good.
Right.
That runtime is really good, perfect. Don't go anymore. I think it would have dragged. I think it would have suffered on its own occasion. But there's certain scenes to where this movie was, again, we go back to where a lot of the major scenes were in the trailer. A lot of the major, so you kind of knew the outcome of the whole situation before it would, or when it was occurring, you didn't feel scared, you didn't feel creepy, you didn't feel any of this because you're just like, I already know what happens.
And don't get me wrong, I don't do dolls. Like,
I know you don't, yeah.
That's why I don't want to watch Chucky. So dolls are like the epitome of creepy for me. Like it's creepy. And so it does its job, right? Yeah. M3GAN is a creepy film, to be honest. She looks so eerily like a person, but not. It's just so unnerving, right? Yeah. So it does its job, right, as establishing as this thriller. Mm-hmm. But for me, and I know you mentioned it off camera when we were talking about it, I do agree with you that this should not have been a PG-13 film. I think it should have been more of a rated R. Yeah, so put more violence and gore into that.
So my only complaint with this movie, guys, moviegoers out there, for you horror fans out there, this movie, as of right now on IMDb, again, this is very misleading. On my point, this is my point of view, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, my point of view. As of right now, it's listed as horror sci-fi thriller. It is not a horror movie whatsoever. In my personal take, this movie is not a horror movie. In my personal take, I have to repeat myself over again, right? It's like, in my personal take, this movie's not a horror movie. It's a sci-fi thriller. I agree. It's a thriller, yes. Is it sci-fi? Yes. In its own way, it is. Let's just call it what it is. It's a sci-fi thriller. Did I enjoy this movie? Yes, I did. Did I have a good time in this movie? Yeah, of course I did. And that's the point of movies. That's the point of experience this in a theater, is that I enjoyed this movie, And now I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie on earth. Is this a good way to start 2023? Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm on board for this. This movie surprised me in so many, in a few ways, right? And then in other ways, it was just very predictable.
I agree with you. I agree with you that, I mean, it has its formula, right? Like, things start off small and then the climax, right? Yeah. But I agree with you. I don't believe it was a horror film. I just don't. It was scary. It was definitely creepy. But I agree with you. I wanted to see, as much as I don't like gore, I wanted to see a little bit more violence. Yeah. So that was my major concern. I wanted to see out of this movie. I wanted to see more violence, more gore, and more comedy. I kind of feel like, okay, whenever this film was making comedy jokes, I felt like it was very strong at those moments. That's just my take, because I was laughing.
When M3GAN was making jokes, it's not a spoiler. M3GAN makes jokes in this movie,
it's like
it's done very well though. I'm just very surprised how well it was. I was laughing my butt off.
It had its moments.
Those little one-liners that were just so really good. I enjoyed them, and I was just like, oh man, this is damn good. But at the same time though, I'm just like, I wanted more violence. But we'll talk about that. Was this a film that we deserved, Angela? I'm gonna say yeah. I mean, I'll give it.
I like movies like that are futuristic sci-fi. Yeah,
they're very interesting. They really are.
They're very interesting.
They intrigue me.
It kind of almost mimics what we aspire to as humankind.
Yeah.
Technology-wise advancements and stuff, and it kind of like scares you into place.
Yeah.
So I love movies like that. So I definitely think it's something to reserve because we are headed towards there in the future.
Definitely.
I mean, see 100 years.
We're already almost to it pretty much because we have Alexa that programs our lights. Right. It's coming. Definitely.
Our whole world is connected by technology.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
See technology backfire on us is great.
Definitely. All right, rating 1 out of 10. 10 being the highest. So I'm going to give this rating.
Now I love James Wan and all of the things he does. I had high expectations.
But remember, this is not directed by James Wan.
I know, but it's story by and produced by. But anyways,
this is actually directed by a first timer of a big budget film like this.
Gerard Johnstone.
Yeah. So he's really done a lot of TV stuff. He has done a few independent films,
and it was well directed. Yeah. The way it flowed, it was very well directed.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it like that.
But
I'll give it that.
I had high. I guess my expectations were too high, and that kind of ruined it for me in the end. That was a downfall. So I would say it was about a solid 6.5 for me. Because even though I love the theme,
we're really gonna be on point here. Yeah, I was thinking around that.
I wanted to love it more.
I'm not a 7 for sure. I'm not. But 100%. I'm agree with you there. This is a 6.5 for me as well. Great minds think alike, and this is definitely a movie to where it sits right where it's at, but. The trailers kind of led us. This is just my take. The trailers for me led me to believe that this is going to be more horror, more gory than expected. And to knowing where Blumhouse has done these films, like Halloween, it's its household now. It's its household. Halloween has a home now. They're knowing where it's at and everything. I just feel like that it should have capitalized on the horrorness. This movie should have been. If this movie was rated R because of horror and gore, would have been good. I think this movie could have been great. A great movie, a great horror movie in January. Now, is this going to do good at the box office? I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. Yeah, me too. I really do hope so. I'm almost pretty much sure that moviegoers are going to go check this movie out because this is a futuristic of a side of Chucky, of Child's Play. Now, I'm not going to say it's not as great as Child's Play, the first one, the original OG, but it's good. It's good. It's not great. I'll say that.
I will say, it's like a vamped up version of Chucky.
Updated version of it, but now instead of a guy, it's a girl now. Yeah. But even, I mean, it's a doll. It's a doll. It's not really, it doesn't matter. But definitely, guys, we do recommend this movie, guys, so be sure to check it out at a theater near you coming out this Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, check out this movie because I guarantee you it's definitely gonna be entertaining. I feel like it's a
good film to watch with your adult friends.
For the average moviegoers, I think this is really going to sit well with. It's going to be medium. I really do. I feel like people are going to like it or they're going to hate it or they're going to be like, "This is a crappy movie." Again, this is definitely a movie to where I don't know. It can go either way. It really can. It's definitely a conversation starter because it's going to get people going where you enjoy it and then half of your friends hate it and then half your friends love it. It just depends where your comedy sits. For me, I think it should have relied a little bit more on comedy and a lot more on violence. It didn't reach out my expectations there. I mean, I again, call me crazy, but I want a little bit more. I want this movie to be rated R. It's currently rated PG-13, and but all right, guys, we do recommend this movie. Check out the review. As always, I'm your host Ryan D. Ryan 680.
I'm Angela Kelly. And
this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe to us on Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. If you're not already, listen to us on our podcast platform or vice versa. Hit us up on YouTube, guys, and follow us on our Facebook pages, Instagram, and everything else you can find us out. Check you later. Stay safe, San Antonio. Peace.